game. We have a winner bracket semifinal number 2. Who's gonna face Spiral in the winner bracket final? That's pretty insane. It's an undead mirror right here. We have Happy, the dominator of the scene, in the upper right in the blue, versus one of the guys who's coming back to Warcraft. That is Vortix. Pretty impressive rise in the past, when was it? 8 weeks or something? So yesterday we speculated a little, is X-Lord ready to take down Happy? And it was so close. Is Vortix the chosen one?
Yeah, it has been an impossible task, seemingly. Nobody was able to. It came close. X-Lord, it felt like after that performance, if he doesn't beat Happy, he certainly would be making it out of the groups at least. But Group D turned out to be a killer group. Even X-Lord couldn't make it out. It was Spiral, the orc, instead in second place. Monzo, thank you for the €20 donation. Says, always love you guys, but this cup with lots of co-casters is extra awesome. Thank you, Monzo. That's very nice.
Yaws, by the way, are you still following Romantic's rise or like Fortitude? You were one of the first to cheer for him, if I remember correctly.
Dude, if there's a guy that knows talent and just sees talent out there, it's definitely me, I feel. Like, I think Romantic was still a lot of, there was a lot of room for improvement, let's put it there. When I saw him in the first games that I've seen from him, or I played him on ladder and netties, and Fortitude was also there back in the days when I played in 2016 still, I feel, and he's just picking up on that. I really like to see human players succeed still. Or just doing well, and these guys bring so much joy to me, and I think hopefully also to the scene overall. So it's just great whenever some new talent pops up, which also matters for other races as well. Like whenever there's fresh blood, it only helps the scene and helps everyone.
Yeah, recently in Europe, the humans haven't been doing too hot. Of course, Hawk is there, Todd is there, but we've had those for a long time pretty much. But the Muslim also made his way back, and dude, his rise to the top again has been really impressive. What kind of stories, what kind of experiences have you had with the Muslim in the past, Yaws?
I've been with him for Team Alternate for, I think, a year or a half, 18 months or so, and we trained a lot, and we also had a few boot camps, so we had good chemistry. It was a guy that I really liked and I looked up to at a certain point when I was still trying to find my way as a professional player and wanted to get better. He was already at a higher level. He was with 4 Kings. He was part of the famous 4 Kings squad. He trained with Grubby, Todd, Criolofos back then, so he was definitely a guy that I looked up to for quite some time and that I shared a lot of ideas with in the time of Alternate. And then at some point, I feel he decided to go with StarCraft 2, which was great for him because he also excelled his skill set. And now coming back with all the Warcraft experience that he has, with all the offline experience and game experience in general as a professional player, as well as the knowledge that he gained from StarCraft, as well as Happy, for example, I think they just they got more advanced as a player. And from that perspective, I feel like they're picking up fairly easily on all the game aspects of the game, and for that I think they also get a lot better by every single game that they do. So I feel the Muslim is definitely in a state where he can just be maybe still 30 to 40% better than he is today, because his strats are kind of weird from what I've seen, and he hits a lot of off timings, which is great, and he confuses a lot of people right now when he wins. It doesn't mean his micro is shit or anything, but his strategies are highly reliable on being random when it comes to timings and unit composition and so on. And sometimes he's just not hitting the right things, I feel. But this is my take on this.
Yeah, also, he's streaming quite a bit. He's been picked up by Method recently. And yeah. I enjoyed his stream quite a lot. I saw him, for example, playing a few matches against Happy. I think it was 2 in a row, or maybe even 3. And, he got bodied like everyone does against Happy. And he wasn't oh, this was bullshit, what is that, blah, blah. He was oh, okay, this is cool, This is an undead who's playing better than everyone else, and I want to play him right away again. At the end of the game, he'd message him, oh, Q again. I want to play another one, because, he's trying to get the hardest challenge. He's trying to get better. He's really enjoying the pursuit of improvement, it seems like, which always seems to be the best mindset.
He matured a lot, I feel. He was in a different state back then. I think we all were, but I really like to hear that, which is just great, because this is the spirit that you need to have if you want to get back on track, and if you want to be just better. The overall mindset of I just want to be better with every single game that I do is just the right one.
Yeah, so far this game, not too much has happened. The DK creep route kind of executed standard by both with a quick level 3. This is the best creep route if you play the strat, and both are doing it. But with a bit of distraction here from the skeletons, Happy manages to pull out the Ogre Lord. This is kind of an unusual timing. Normally we see this by the time the second hero Lich comes out. But with the illusion especially, Happy is able to do this a little bit sooner and gets one of the best items possible. The Ancient Django of Endurance, this bonus movement and attack speed for him. And in a mirror where everything is so close, this makes a massive difference.
That was such a nice bait. I guess if he had only sent like one skeleton, it wouldn't have been enough to lure him into his own main base. But since it was 3, he was smelling experience, and then he could get the mid creep.
Happy with this kind of movement speed, I think that's insane.
Yeah, that helps him so much. I mean, he's already so good at pulling back these fiends and out of range of Lich and the opposing fiends. So ooh, it's gonna be tough for Vortix, but maybe a big mana potion will help out here.
I feel what's so special about Happy is that he knows to leverage every single advantage that he has in the game within seconds. Like, whenever he knows that he gets an item, or if the opponent, for example, yesterday, I watched the games Xlord against Happy, and Xlord did, like, in the games that he lost, like both of them, he did like tiny mistakes, like spending his mana, for example, on his Lich, like not perfectly, or using a Nova in the middle of the map, which just completely blew his game, because Happy picks up on these subtle cues and he just knows how to punish you. Same for the Aura, like he runs back to that camp, the expansion, he takes it away from his opponent. On the other hand, he takes the laboratory. So I think like every single kind of like advantage that he gets, he just like puts it on the edge. It's crazy. Or he pulls it even over the edge. It's just insane to see.
Yeah, we've seen this in the weeks prior as well. You know, there's been a lot of competitive matches between Happy and others, especially Foggy. But there's this one mistake, Happy punishes you for it instantly, and the game ends normally right there. Vortix here creeping pretty aggressively, dropping low on the DK, but there's a heal pot here to keep him in fighting shape. And mana is actually quite a bit lower on Happy. May need to use it on his own second hero, but look at that movement speed, man. Which is actually so fast, gets away without needing to coil. And this is a new classic. Vortix with his Fiend blocks gets the first blood of the game.
My pants are getting tighter again. This is like at least the third time that I see it in the past 2 days alone. Vortix and the Fiend blocks. I've rarely seen it this great so frequently.
So getting one Fiend kill is nice, but it's not the end of the story. At the late stages, it will still pretty much be 50 versus 50 supply, similar hero levels, probably very equal armies, and then it's all about the micro. When Xlord defeated Happy yesterday, he had a big lead in that first game, thanks to, I think it was a Naga and a Fiend killer early on, and superior levels as well.
Alrighty, go for the next red spot. Vortix, I feel like he needs this one item that brings him back, like a flute or a devotion aura.
Devotion Aura? Kappa?
No Kappa anymore. It's really good. It's +2 armor now. And that kind of makes a difference.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of these things that was an instant sell back then. Pretty much like the rings, but times are changing.
Root Bracers on the Lich.
Oh yeah. Pretty good, but Happy not the one to focus heroes that much compared to other heroes.
And it only really affects the Nova here, so I guess really not the best item he could have found.
Pretty much standard undead mirror, unfortunately. No Lich first or big aggression, both soaking up the map, and then there's gonna be this one big fight.
Rob of the Magi is insane damage, and also a lot of more Novas.
Yep.
Good for the Lich.
Dark Ranger level 2 as well. Vortix.
Oh my god, the move speed on Happy, it's plus 30%. It's so fast.
Uphill battle here.
Oh yeah.
Vortix
If he
taking
kills the Destroyer, I think he's a lot ahead, right?
Yeah. But then he can dispel the silence as the only player here. Counter kill on that Fiend, but big commitment on that Destroyer, and it pays off so well. So no solution for the silence now.
But he's losing the second Fiend and the Destroyer, so it's still okay for pretty nice for Vortix, I guess.
Yeah. I totally agree. Fiends are all over the place here. Vortix is about to lose the Destroyer as well. Happy has one down to the ground. Should be able
Now
to
he's
call.
falling apart.
Coil is ready. Happy is losing 2 units at the same time. 8 supply gone. And the next Fiend, I think Vortix is playing this really well.
One of mana steal
Running
came
out of
in.
mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more mana on the Lich for Happy here, so I still think he should be able to, like, probably both have to pull back at some point. But, yeah.
That was a very equal fight.
Yeah.
But we have to keep in mind, Happy ran up the high ground there. This is a true high ground, a hill, so you can't see up. And that was a bit of a trap that was being set up by Vortix. Definitely a better start to the fight for the Spaniard, but Happy fought his way back. However, we have an expansion coming up now.
I always wondered, like on this, on this high ground, is it like either you are on high ground or you are on low ground, or is it like if you move 50% up the high ground, do you have a higher or a lower chance to miss already? Like, does it matter if you move half the way up?
No, it's binary, so it's one or the
It's
other.
1 or 0, right? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
This is either very smart or it's super dumb to expand right now, right? It's either like paying off if you make some time for it, or it's just like super crucial because you will be like a glass cannon for quite some time now. What do you think, Remo? Like, I think you are, like, from all of us, have the clearest picture here.
Yeah, nowadays in Warcraft we see a lot of these tactical expansions which don't only have the purpose of actually getting an expansion, but also creating like an objective on the map. On bigger maps especially, like you creep half the map, then you expand and you go to the other side of the map and creep up there. If your opponent goes to your expansion and cancels this one, you don't even lose that much. You lose the Acolyte, especially if you're on it. You lose the Acolyte, you cancel your Haunted, and there's not many resources lost. In the meantime, what you're achieving is you creep 2 camps, maybe even 3, and your opponent spent all this time running towards your expo, canceling it. Not the case in this game, because concealed, not that many creeps. All the creeps are gone already. And yeah, this is a big investment into this Haunted Gold Mine. It wasn't just the 200 something for the Haunted, also the Acolytes. So this is like a lot of investment into this base. Yeah, you're right. If this works out, if Vortix holds here, this is going to be his win condition. But this was a gamble.
Yeah, and now it's definitely he's on the knife's edge right now, and he's forcing like so many destroyers.
Okay.
Happy starts off with a triple silence, gets the spell there on the DK, but the other 2 heroes are still hit. Vortix can't make use of his spells, Dark Ranger and Lich for the longest time. Now finally he does have the time, but already Happy possibly has run away with this fight. No destroyers for the Spaniard anymore, so once again silence can become painful against him. Happy loses the first Fiend finally, but denies it with the Lich, no experience given over. But DK for Happy is dropping very low on mana, so that means no more healing here coming in soon. Perhaps Vortix can hold. However, his Fiends have all disappeared, almost. A single one is left in the back. Happy with excellent kiting as always. Looking for a hero kill. Now the Dark Ranger almost falls, but it's a last-second invul transfer. Another Fiend denied. Happy down to 43, but the Lich doesn't quite get the save. There was a TP transfer intended, but didn't get it off in time. Vortix loses the hero, the game. And that's the 1-0 for Happy.
Again, perfect decision by Happy to push.
Yeah, well, it's just like he knows everything at all times. Like, I'm not sure how he scouted the expansion, but he was there the moment the expansion was done with a supply advantage, slightly hero advantage with the level 2 Dark Arrow, I feel, on the Dark Ranger, right? But it's just hardcore how he leverages that. It's insane.
But that expo turned out to be a mistake, right? I mean, without that, it would have been easier to hold it, I guess, like, or to attack. He would have had 2 Fiends more, I guess, without that expo.
Yeah, it turned out to be quite expensive, right? He had to make the Acolytes, he had to make the Ziggurat, he had to make the expansion, so there was a few hundred gold, certainly. But honestly, that was close to holding. I think if he just dispels the first silence on his heroes better, maybe he can turn that around if that Ziggurat gets upgraded into a Narrow Tower. That's a super strong defensive structure.
Yeah,
a bit
true.
of a risk, yes, but it's also a win condition. If you hold there, you win the game on the spot.
Yeah, it's like 60 seconds. It's 60 seconds. If the Nero goes up and you get another Fiend and maybe a heal scroll or maybe an Invo Potion from the gold already coming like from the expansion, then I think you are ahead because you are closer to your main base. Like all your reinforcements will stream in within the fight. So you're probably going to win that fight, but it's like 60 to 90 seconds that you need to buy at some point. Maybe he needed to position himself not at the expansion. Maybe he needed to go to happy space or close to happy space. So the moment he sees with a skeleton that happy is moving down to his expansion, he immediately needs to hit the acolytes or like a very strategic pain point, the shop, or I don't know, like something that happy needs to have in place. Happy, on the other hand, he will definitely cancel the expansion, but he will also bleed for that, and maybe you can recover within time. I'm not sure, but I think this is a move that every player should do when he expands. Don't position yourself close to the expansion. It's rather like position yourself where you know where your opponent is and that you can hit him harder at his one main base, because at this point you are on 2 base and he's on 1 base, and if it hurts him a lot more, I don't know, maybe you can recover better because you kill ghouls, you kill like acolytes. I'm not sure how much time you can really buy with the expansion and the Nerobe if it's up, but it should be close to like, I don't know, 60 seconds before the Nerobe, before the Haunted Goldmine goes down, or maybe 45, I don't know.
Yeah, counterattack definitely there. Could have been a good idea. But if you want to do counterattack safely, you have to have a TP, so you need to invest another 350. He didn't have that.
But I think
anymore.
he had a TP.
Oh, did he have to have a TP? Yeah, then
I think, yeah.
And then it probably would have been the better idea.
So
it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, exactly. So hard to make. No, it was just the tower there. Yeah. All right, we go into map 2. The result is as expected, but Vortix is pretty much as close as X-Lord was. So maybe not that close, but he's definitely competitive. This was the undead mirror that we were hoping for, which is a weird sentence. I think I've never said that before. But all right, we have Happy in the blue upper right with the lead. 1 map away from the winner bracket final against Spiral. And Vortix, does he have another idea in undead mirror? Remo, do you know if he has like Lich openings, Ghoul Rush openings, something like that?
Before he was playing professionally again, he was on old BattleNet, so, you know, pre-Reforged. He was abusing a lot of Dreadlord Fast Expo strats when he was still getting the lay of the land again. But since he's been playing Cups, I don't think I once saw him play off meta. Against Nylov, he likes to mix in Gargs every now and then. Against Orc, he likes to play his Cryptlord third speciality. But against Undead, no.
Yaws, by the way, are you aware that you made headlines in China this week?
Oh yeah, I read that, but it's total BS, so it's okay.
So you got the money of WCA?
I think I did get the money. If there's like a part missing, I would be very happy at this point, because I could definitely need some new furniture for my garden. So feel free to pass me some money. And also subscribe to this channel, by the way, guys. If you have a Twitch Prime and you're not using it on these guys, then you're completely nuts.
Salesman through and through.
Dude,
Where's
to be
Twisted
honest, like,
sorry.
no, it's okay. I wanted to total bullshit. Just go on.
Yeah, yeah, as people know me, I also just wanted to shout out some bullshit. Where's Twisted Meadows here? Like, is it in the map wall?
Yeah. It gets vetoed all the time. I think in Mirror, it's so random what items you get.
Yeah, unless you're like a Lich, Fast Expo, Worms kind of player, you don't want to play Twisted.
But we want to see it.
Well, yesterday we had a 70-minute game of Twisted. I think we got satisfied with our need for Twisted there quite a bit.
We got our fair share of Twisted. So Yaws, what was your bullshit about?
That's okay. I got more later on.
I bet you do. I'm pretty sure you do.
By the way, sometimes I see people taking a lot of damage while creeping with skeletons on the DK, and some others prefer to split the damage among the skeletons. Is there like a best practice to this, or is it just super random?
I normally always want to take some damage on the DK at least to make use of regen, you know, and once you get aura, especially, you have a lot of regen. I think in this case, like Vortix dropping down to basically half HP, I think this was just a mistake. I think he got distracted by the Aka a little bit too much. At that camp, there's a Null Warden who purges you, and then when you're purged, the creeps aggro onto you, which you have to actively disengage the aggro from the creeps. Maybe the Acolyte there was making the life hard for him. Happy is excellent at utilizing his Acolyte as much as possible. And that's a tiny advantage for him. It's still going to be level 2, but as you can see, Vortix has less HP on the DK. less mana as well, but perfect items. Circlet and Mantle are amazing.
So it's green into green into green, then into expansion, and then you're level 3, right?
Yeah. 3 green into Expo, and then normally you go towards the middle with your level 3 and try to snipe one of the items. So it's kind of a split. One gets the marketplace, one gets the merchant. Unless one player wants to be aggressive and wants to aim for more, and then it's kind of a hit trading in the middle.
So Vortix is already adapting as he's taking his expansion right now, so he will be a little bit faster in the middle if he skips the green. That could be something that is an advantage if he gets a nice item. Is the marketplace more important, or is it the laboratory or the merchant?
So the marketplace has the consumable item like Mana Stone, and the merchant has the permanent item like Robo the Magi. So marketplace items like usually more impactful in a single fight, but the other item more value throughout the course of the game. But yeah, the creep out here by Vortix is different. He could be faster towards the middle, but he's not level 3. And sniping the item without level 2 coil, it's really difficult. So I'm surprised that we see the differentiation here. Happy gets the level 3 and will now be going towards the middle, I imagine. Vortix opts for early claws here, perhaps. That's a favorite thing to do for Undead, buying those claws at the marketplace. But they're out of stock, so it's Gloves of Haste instead.
So overall, the strategy is not really working. He's level 3 like hell later, and Happy is already in the middle. What the hell?
Yeah, the creep out doesn't seem to be the best. Happy gets
nice scouting here with the illusion doll.
I see them coming, but what can he still go for it? It's such a gamble to go for that camp now.
Yeah, it's a risk for both. It would be ultra greedy for Happy to do it with his low HP DK. And now they're basically waiting for the Lich, bringing in the Nova, bringing in more Rod of Necromancy. And it's all about maintaining health and mana here in this hit trading.
It's pretty much exactly what we've seen yesterday between X-Lord and Happy.
Yep.
So what was
the moment you run out of rod, you need to go back, or do you need to wait for the Lich coming with no rod right now for Happy? Is that normal?
Yeah, the Lich brings the Rod, usually, but
Happy doesn't.
Wait, they both... Happy skips it. Happy likes skipping Rod of Necromancy to have more gold for quicker acceleration towards tier 3. But that can be a problem. Bad position on the DK, good Nova by Vortix.
Beautiful Ring Bracers, otherwise he would have taken a lot of more damage.
Yeah. Bracers and Ring both protecting him here pretty well.
Maybe he's lacking the micro for skeletons. For a lot of necromancy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice shots fired. That should definitely be a short clip, guys.
Yeah, that's always the issue with Happy, right? Like his game plan is perfect, his macro is perfect, but micro, I don't know. He really needs to step that game up. So
Do you
Vortix
think
seems...
Vortix should chase him, like should really chase him here, just to deal more damage and force him?
This is the tough decision to make. Like, Vortix has a slight lead with more HP and more mana, but how do you capitalize on that? Going for this Warlord camp is still dangerous. He's going to expose his Fiends in the back. This DK is basically baiting this Nova. I'm very surprised that Vortix decides to use it on the DK again, because of the bracers. Now I guess he is very hurt, and with the next Nova, he's going to get the first Fiend kill. We had that in map 1 already.
Skeletons are putting in a lot of damage now, and DK has to be quite careful. There's no Nova anymore, so it's exactly the position, the block of Axel versus Happy yesterday, when Happy had the Nova in the end, using it on the DK now. Rare to see. Lich is taking lots of damage, but Coil arrives.
Statue comes in. That's a big difference maker.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice
wow,
round.
this round.
Why is he not replacing it with Lich? Come on, bro.
He's now buying more time. Lich is in trouble there as well. Has the Coil. Both have.
He's
Who's gonna
passing
win
over
the
the tank items to the Lich.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, dude. It's such a tiny thing, but it's so damn beautiful.
Should we focus the DK now?
Oh, there's Nova for Happy in a second.
TP.
Oh,
Use the TP. Lich is safe with that.
it was 1 second before the Nova.
But yeah, Remo pointed it out, like transitioning the items over to the Lich. It's just a super tiny thing, but it's so beautiful that he's aware of that and makes it a little bit more tanky. Tried to force the arrow on the Lich, didn't get it. But he will be quite low HP.
Another thing here, during the fight, Happy was building his 4th Ziggurat, so he can go up to 50 now. Vortix was too busy microing and did not have that great mind about it. Builds it only now. There's a little delay for more supply.
Yeah,
Oh, Mana
small
Stone.
mistake, but how sick were these moves? The skeleton block
Yes.
into the 4 unit surround, into holding the surround with a lich transfer, forcing the TP. That TP force can absolutely matter.
Do you think that would have been a nice timing for an expo here for Vortix, since he had Happy under control up there, so I guess that could have been like 1 minute to get that expo up.
Illyria,
He was already
Ranger
supply
Orb
blocked though.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to get Orb and Dark Ranger ASAP. You don't want to
Yeah,
delay that.
Illyria's on DK for Vortex.
Oh man,
Oh,
these
gets
items.
surrounded.
Wait, he bought that, right?
I think
He
so
bought
too.
that, yeah.
Yeah. For 400 gold. Whoa.
These items are stacking up, man. Lich is plus 17. He has the Mana Stone as well.
Yeah, but 400, dude. Plus Orb coming in now. It's like a huge commitment at this point. I'm not sure if that's paying off. It's basically one attack upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also on the hero, so it's like half a claw for the Lich and the Dark Ranger. If he gets to 2 attack upgrades, like if we're just cruising through this late game now, and we're
Claws
just
plus
creeping
12.
up the map, it could be pretty good.
And Happy gets the red spot here, while Vortix will take a lot longer to get the red spot.
I think if there's just one hint that you can give to Vortix after this game, it's like, dude, review your creeping patterns.
But if he gets both... Okay, they both get both.
Happy
Yeah,
gets
but
the
you
bottom
want to
right
have the
corner.
bigger camp in order if you get creep jacked and you risk like it for the orange one, you are completely screwed. Where's the Banshee transition, by the way, these days?
Normally very late. Like usually it's just pure Fiend Destroyer up to 50, and then proactive 50 supply expansion. And then once you're on 2 bases, then Banshees usually.
So it's too expensive for a 1-base strat? Or
It's more like it takes too long to come online. Like as far as tempo goes, it's kind of awkward because you need tempo plus 3 Banshees plus Adept training before it's really good. Whereas Destroyer transition is much easier. You need just 1 Destroyer upgrade, and that's it. Suddenly Destroyers are good already.
Also,
Happy will be
1200.
3-3-3 after this camp if he gets like a little bit of that, while like Vortix still get a level 1 Dark Ranger.
It is
What would you...
3 damage on the Lich for Vortex. You know?
Yeah, second plus 12 claw. Silence on the
missed
DK!
it.
Invo potion triggered pretty much immediately. Counter focus on the DK. Has a Talisman of Evasion, that helps. Here's the level 2, that's more skeletons for him. Weapon 2 destroys, Happy focus. Happy is the one to lose him earlier, but Vortex is still a call for him. Not willing to commit to it. Level 3 Dark Ranger.
Takes out another Fiend as well, and suddenly it's a 6 versus 4 Fiend lead. Vortex keeps that one alive. Heavy trading here on the Fiends in the back. Happy still with 2 statues. Misses the coil again. Forces the attack on the DK. Probably gonna have to TP out of this. In fact, he does, but Vortex gets another Fiend on the way out, trying to save that last Fiend of his. And that should have been a pretty even trade between both. Supply-wise, equal.
What would you like to have more in this situation? Talisman of Evasion or Rune Bracers? I guess Talisman of Evasion might be better in this situation, right? In this matchup here.
Hard to say, because I think if you die or if you're like trying to risk, if that makes sense, if you're dying to burst, right? So maybe the Rune Bracer is better in that scenario. So he's canceling the expansion, which is like crucial right now because he was trying to put it out there, which would have been smarter. And something that I want to point out and pointed out for years is that try to expand at the position that your opponent crapped, because you will most likely not expect it as it is doing it to the top or to the natural, which he's scouting already. So if you would have gone for bottom right, that would be like super sneaky, but also kind of close to Happy Space, of course. So you're taking a slight risk, but it's a high reward scenario. So maybe if you want to win against him, you need to do these kind of calculated risks.
It
Good
is
fight
now.
for Vortix. He's coming into this with mana on the DK, but actually there's a big mana potion which may be forced soon. Once again, Fiend's dying quick, DK in a bit of focus fire as well. Fiend's scuttling in the back, trying to survive, but surviving is very hard against the strong Lich and the strong Nova. Once again, lots of Fiends dying on both sides. It seems to be a very even fight so far. Destroyer is being morphed, and of course with the Fiend numbers dwindling, Destroyer is hard to take out. Happy barely saves the Destroyer here of his with the coil, but more focus fire comes in, that Destroyer falls. But Happy still has 1 Destroyer left. Vortix 0 mana-wise. It's still pretty equal. Lich here for Vortix out of mana, but now level 4. +4 intelligence and Dark Ritual leveled up. Lots of skeletons for Happy, by the way. Adding in more normal damage. Good dispel by the Destroyer. Gets more HP with that, but Destroyer still falls. DK getting focused, getting blocked. Has the invul. Very last second waiting to use it.
That DK is dead, isn't it? Oh, he's not chasing.
Following up.
God damn, these fiend blocks by Vortix again. This is so crazy. The DK is healing in the back. Stady's about to fall. He's reaching around.
38 supply. Both. Oh, now 35.
Happy consumed the big mana already. Vortix still has the stone.
Yeah, he could have killed the DK, I think, if he had used that stone on that Lich. I think that Nova would have been worth it.
Yeah, he could have Dark Ritualed, and I think that would have been the final moment. I'm not sure. I think he should have gone for the DK though.
Damn. Vortix looking really good, staying competitive throughout the entire game with Happy.
Yeah, Happy is really in a really bad spot.
Vortex.
Oh yeah, doing it again.
And Vortex should he push like the? I don't know. I mean, now Happy is healing up, and it's another even fight again, I guess. But wasn't that a window for Vortex here?
Fighting into Black Citadel is always really dangerous. Just that slow makes your life so much more difficult.
Yeah, slow reinforcements, everything will be like disadvantages.
X-Lord died there yesterday, so you really don't want that.
Yeah, stupid.
We have a Lich advantage here now, and still the stone and the great healing for the DK. Focus fire on these Liches. Happy. Seems like he's struggling a bit. Vortix with a big supply lead. That Fiend dies finally level 4 as well, but the flute is still on the side of Vortix, and his expansion is starting to get up. More chasing, more kills. Oh my, is he doing it? This looks really good.
Yeah, he is doing it.
Don't
Dark
say
Ritual.
that.
Oh, another block coming out, of course. But there
There's
is
a coil.
The kid is so good with these blocks. DK focus, maybe not the right thing with the talisman and the greater potion.
He just needs to calm his nerves now, go back,
Yeah.
chill at that expansion, and let life take its toll.
Yeah, don't get too greedy. Don't become bloodthirsty. You have the expansion. It's almost done. Saturate it, get some items, chill.
Did they veto Twisted?
Yes.
Pretty sure, yes.
That's like the biggest casino in Warcraft maps that you have ever seen.
All right, Expo standing again. Happy under a lot of pressure. He needs to either kill this base or win this next fight, but that's not going to be easy. Vortix with quite a few advantages. He's going to get a heal scroll here, I guess. But these acolytes are exposed. That's going to be some of them going down.
Chat is talking a lot about Vortix's Lich, but the one of Happy is not to be underestimated either with a plus 25 DK in trouble. Again, focusing on that unit that has the big health stone. Not too sure if that's the right call. Consumes it now. Vortix is losing the first Fiend. 48 versus 45. Can he buy time for the tower this time?
At least he's mining now with 4 echoes.
Happy is losing the first Destroyer. Vortix saves that one. Still with the stone. How much mana regen did that item give him throughout the game?
Ooh, about to be level 5 as well. There it is. Double level ups, in fact, to 5 and 4. Those stats already valuable, but the skill point, of course, even better. DK now getting right-clicked as well. The Rune Bracer still protecting him somewhat, but it seems like both DKs forced out of the fight with that focus. Too low now. Only Lich and Dark Ranger left to battle it out. And Happy loses his Lich. And that must be the game.
Wow. Oh, the Destroyer found the DK here.
Alright,
Insane fight.
this is so sick.
Okay.
Yeah, if he wants to lose that game, then it's definitely giving his DK like a good time. It's just like this. Both of these Liches are just completely nonsense.
They're really ridiculous.
Oh, the Lich is reaching around.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, bro.
Wait,
Come on, don't be bad.
He just needs to dodge every attack.
Oh no, he's going to he's going
no.
to eat the skeleton and bam. Oh, bro.
Oh, no!
He's got 1,000 gold. He's got 1,000 gold, guys. It's fine.
Okay, okay.
Okay, this expansion already paid off. Lich is soon to have a mana.
If he loses that one, I'm gonna donate 50 euros to the stream.
Okay.
So you lied. You have 50 euros still.
At least, yeah. And if anyone wants some info on Spiral, because I've met him personally on Gamescom, just let me know.
Oh, dude, those pictures would be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
I
Did
know.
you take pictures?
I'm just putting it out there.
Warcraft 3.info could be your big story.
Yeah, someone in chat is right. Be aware that Happy is just a streamer, so it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses.
But again, how Happy keeps himself in the game, it's...
Yeah, but now he's really under. Like, he is one mine down and... Yeah.
I love that Vortix is sending a ghoul to the upper left to check if there's expansions, not move there with your whole army. Have a center position, make sure that Happy is not getting too many items with this.
He just needs to go back and not second guess himself. Just scout, chill, get your stuff together, get invo potions on all of your heroes, be X-Lord. Just the good version of him.
Not the yesterday version, indeed.
Not the yesterday version. Fighting in front of that. Oh, come on.
No.
Don't. Just go back.
I fucking hate sequels! Okay.
The big army here for Vortex, way more fiends. That was a big Nova by Happy hitting all those fiends. DK.
Why is he focusing the DK? He should focus down the units here, I guess.
I don't get this.
Does that now.
Vortex is still getting a ton of kills. Happy down to 38. Maybe it is the right call this time.
Oh my god.
Level 5 Lich.
Level 5.
It's so much mana. It's so much mana.
He could kill the DK here. Nova.
Nova.
Not yet. Not yet.
What?
Waiting for the right moment. One over. Level 5 now. That's more HP. More tanky. Rune Grace is of course the right thing. Can he reach for the potion? He can! Happy last second item.
Nah, he's not a magician. He's not going to turn this around, man.
He's not a magician. Have you seen his games?
Yeah, I have. But, dude,
And there goes the DK. That's it.
there you go.
Okay.
Oh man. Insane
My
game.
god, I'm sweating here.
Chat, did you hear in that game how nervous Neo was? I could hear his hands shaking. Like, no, don't do it.
I've been there so many times, man. I've been there so many times when people had the small lead against Happy and make this one stupid mistake, and we got our hopes all high, and then boom. Damn Vortix, what a player.
That was really well played. Like, he got a small advantage early. He killed a fiend, right? He forced a TP. That is a bit of an advantage, but it's not a large one. And he played it out really well. Yeah. And kept up with Happy's micro in the late game, which only the very fewest people can say.
Do you think the flute was worth it in the end?
I think it was the flute, yeah. Let's just put it out there.
I mean, it was a late game investment, and he carried the game to the late, and Fiends...
He got a lot of mileage out of it, a lot of value, and when he invested the 400, he wasn't punished for overspending, basically. So it wasn't bad.
Guys, I gotta leave you real quick. Maybe I will be back later.
All right.
Not going to promise anything, but this is just amazing. It was fun for the moment, and have a nice time. Hopefully some good games.
Thank you, man.
If you find some time, always welcome. The link will stay the same, so just hop on.
I will. See you then.
Greetings to the fam.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I think that greater healing really saved him the game here. Like, that greater healing was a huge deal for that DK. He tanked so much damage in that fight at the bottom.
Where did he get that again? At his own Tuska camp?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much unpunishable, though.
Do you think that's an imbalanced item to get there? Like, the creep spot is not too...
Yeah. It's
too difficult.
You get it very early, and it has big impact. It's the same that Terrana stand. I really don't like these consumables this early. Maybe you should have another tier of consumables, like a mid tier, where it's really not that much impact. Like drop a small mana potion or small healing or something.
Yeah. Or level 5 permanents like Spell Shield.
Yes, exactly. That would also be very good. I like your balanced suggestions here. Flying bears, Spell Shield at the first camp. Did you reach out to Blizzard maybe to help them with the balance?
Yes. I told them to focus on balance for now.
All right, guys. This is history in the making. This could be the first Undead Mirror that Happy loses to a Westerner since his comeback in, when was it, 2017? This is so crazy. It's like 3 years and no one was able to do it. No one.
Do you think it really was Happy just being too strong, or also all others being intimidated and just losing focus because they had to face Happy over and over?
There's definitely a mental block for everyone in the scene. Everyone agrees. Everyone says that by now. I mean, that's kind of what happens if you lose 30 times in a row, right?
Yeah, I guess. Because I mean, they still play the same game after all, right? So you should, like, obviously Happy is a very impressive player, but you shouldn't lose, like, 1 to 30.
Yeah, that's what we keep on saying, but it's kind of happening, man. It's so surreal. There's Undead Mirrors, and there were Undead Mirrors against Swan or Shake or Side or whatever, where the opponent is really, really competitive, also into the late game. Got several advantages, and then there's just one overcommitment, one micro mistake, and then Happy takes it from here. There's seriously no mercy in these games, and there's no player, I think, in the world who has such few flaws than Happy does. Alright. Remo, are you with us to talk about... Oh, no, he's taking a break. So, no shenanigans, no liches, once again, only the DK. Last Refuge will decide the opponent of Spiral.
Yeah, I think in the last game, Vortix just forced Happy to make a decision. Maybe he doesn't want to. Happy had to push the X of Vortix, but I don't think he liked it because his army or supply was nearly the same as Vortix and had not the better items.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that's the second time in a row we saw that early tier 3 expansion. On Concealed, it didn't really work out because Happy had the perfect read and the perfect timing and a great army for it. On Northern Isles, it was like everything was a little later from Happy's side, I think. So Vortix's early was better. The items were better. I think the army was a little bigger. And then it works out. In the end, there is this pressure situation because Happy had no time to expand himself anymore, as the scout was a little late for that. Yeah, good point. And Last Refuge, this could absolutely happen again.
Players' forces are under attack.
Happy with the Wand of Illusion. Claws of Attack for Vortix. And there was a pattern for a little. If you find a claw early, you have a good shot against Happy. That happened to Hawk, that happened to Cash, and sometimes to Foggy. Dude, there's so much hype right now. Like,
Yeah.
3 years. We're waiting for 3 years for this to happen.
Chat is hyped.
Chat is hyped. We're hyped.
A player's forces are
Tech TV tournaments are somewhat defying logic or regular patterns. I don't know why that is. Replenishment potion is nice, so you can tank a little more, you can spam one more coil.
I'm back, guys. What did I miss? Did someone win yet? It's Undead Mirror.
It's it's pretty much over. Vortix got the replenishment potion and the claw, so
Nice.
it's pretty much game.
are under attack.
Creep routes vary a little. Happy getting the items a little earlier. Great items for the Lich already, especially for attack speed. So second claw, what? Ring this time. We're once again in a Fiend Mirror. Who's accelerating faster? It is Vortix with the levels, but it could be Happy with items. In the end, they will end up on level 3 anyway. Tier 2 is done. Lich is coming. No one goes for the Naga on LR. That was X-Lord's way to go for early fights. Vortix seems to have a different philosophy going into this.
I wonder if he's trying the same again with the expansion in the end and forcing Happy to make a decision.
Yeah, that seems likely. Big camp on the left-hand side. It's once again one of these consumables, but we have the first Fiend fight right now. Mana's looking better for Vortix. Uses the coil immediately. Ancestors are flying on that Fiend of Happy. Could be punished, but I think Vortix has to get out there. Illusion surround for Happy. Trying to fight out against the skeletons. Oh, investing a coil. That illusion could definitely fall, but is he in time? He's coiling the skeleton to make sure that surround sticks. Oh my!
Oh my god.
That coil!
So close.
It was a lot of mana though.
Why didn't he kill the illusion?
I don't know.
Thought that too.
Can you coil your own illusion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
I think we had it in Janus Canis. Did we?
Oh yeah, I'm so bad at remembering that.
Yeah.
But I think you can.
A player's forces are
So, dust settles. Both get a Magi. I think Vortix gets again a little more experience.
Happy's investing heavy in items. He just bought a circlet for this Lich.
Oh, yeah, got 3.
He doesn't
I
want
mean,
to
if
be
there's
out
one thing clear in Admirals nowadays, inventory on Lich is really important.
in- Potion of Greater Mana again. That's a huge advantage for Vortix.
a player's forces are under attack.
With no
Vortex,
mana.
If he wants to engage into a fight, yeah, it's going to be difficult without coils, but I guess Happy doesn't have one either at the moment. However,
Here's a potion.
one of mana steal. Yeah, and the potion.
Not allowing Happy to go for full camps. And being a little more aggressive than before.
It's going to be really good inventory for the Lich and the Dark Ranger, though. My lordy.
A player's forces are under attack.
Vortix's tech is faster. Let's see what he can do with it. Ooh, wanted to surround the ogre. Didn't work.
Oh, that's a lot of wasted time.
Yep.
Both here taking their sweet time to kill the big camps. With inner fire and healing, it always takes quite a bit.
Bit of cunning.
Ooh, I mean, you know, it's actually not bad for the Lich, but compared to the alternatives, very disappointing.
But he got the first red camp without competition, so if he gets the second one also.
That would be sick. That should never happen, really. But if Heffy is getting stuck at the Merc, and
Yeah.
Vortix is going for... Ah, okay, he's going for his lab now.
If Vortix had crept more aggressively, just get the orb and then run bottom right. Like, if you have to TP out after getting the red camp, that's normally worth it.
Yeah.
They could have perhaps taken a bit more of a risk, but you know, easy for us to say. We see exactly where Happy is. Vortix doesn't. Well, I hope he doesn't.
So we mask. And they will fight for the red spot.
Way better Lich inventory for Happy.
There's a heal potion on the DK, so he can tank a little more. Dark Ranger once again.
How did Vortix get to full mana DK again? Wasn't he just out of mana? Statue so broken!
We don't say that, Remo. Maybe they are listening.
Good dispel here. Gets rid of the silence here quickly, does Happy. Aiming for the DK right away. Heal potion forced there also. So far, no kills. Destroyer saved barely in the nick of time. And the Destroyer for Vortix survives here a surprisingly long time indeed. Now falls 3 Fiends against 4 though. Vortix with superior firepower as it seems. Now takes out the Destroyer as well. That's level 4 for him. Creep Camp gets involved. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate. And that Nova on the way back is certainly going to cost 1 Fiend's life.
That was Vortix's own fault. He moved the Fiend there. That caught the aggro. He wanted to burrow against it, but that didn't work. So digging his own grave for now.
Oh, the statue out of position. Happy coming in with a block instantly, trying to save it into a Destroyer, but of course Web is ready. And that's the Destroyer falling. Another 100 gold lost for no real reason.
Yeah, big lead. 1/3 of a level. Can't catch up with the damage. No expansion behind this time. But he's retreating into his own... Was Happy willing to fight this? Apparently
Happy
he
is
is.
preparing for Expo.
Yeah, Eckhart's already here.
And Happy didn't even feel the need to invest into Invul because of how much bonus health Lich had because of triple circlet.
Backstepping now. No reinforcements for Vortix now. Happy is cutting them all off. Going for the DK once again. There's no potions for him, only the TP. Focus Fire, Coil is ready. DK both at around 50%, but no Nova for Vortix anymore. Only an Invo potion. Might have to swap it onto the DK or TP out. Silence on the DK, so there's no Coil ready. There is a statue. Okay, breaks through it. No damage anymore. Vortix taps out of that fight, and Happy is getting the red spot.
That's big item, big experience. Getting further ahead. At least there's a Merc Camp open to Vortix, which is finally gonna be his level 3 Lich, which seems so late.
Helm of Valor is even worse.
Yeah.
For the Dark Ranger. Not bad. Not great.
Edgy items on the Dark Ranger!
It is, dude.
So we mask.
The Dark
For
Ranger
Vortix.
never dies, so every item she has for damage is, you know, some value over time.
Of course.
You think I'm trolling? I'm not. It really is.
So we mask on both sides. Vortix getting ranked to 50. And now Vortix is in a position where he wanted Happy to be.
Forces are under attack.
Yeah. Happy turned it around, basically.
It's like Mega Man is absorbing the skills of his opponents and beats. Two Invo potions on Happy. Is it the high ground fight again? Oh. He's expecting an Expo, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's so lucky.
There's no TP for Vortix too.
Bad position for Vortix. This flank up here.
It's no good.
Does he have time to reposition?
Don't think so. Fiend for Fiend trade. Vortix, can you make history despite this bad position? Can you even survive is kind of the first question we have here. Destroyer survives. Nova a little too late for the coin with the DK. Frostborn hungers. Destroyer's falling for Happy, but same for Vortix. Happy is losing 2 units at the same time. Supply lead for the Spain.
Almost
Yep.
a borrow there, coming up
Yeah.
with a save. Oh man, it's so close. But the Fiends do die in the end. Fiends dying en masse on both sides. 2 Fiends left each with a pretty equal trade, which of course is great for Happy. Takes out another Fiend right there. Lich now out of mana. DK also out of mana. Happy may have to get out of this fight, or perhaps not, because guess what? It's still very even. Vortix doesn't have many spells to spend either. L5, DK long range coil keeps that Fiend alive. Both dropping down to less than 40 supply, but Happy can reproduce so quickly. Dark Ranger in trouble. Invul comes in, but that exposes the Lich, where there is a Nova ready, and that is the kill. And the GG.
Oh man.
Of course not. Yeah, guys.
If only he had played human.
Yeah.
Oh man, Vortix, same. Well, not same as X-Lord. Getting so close. Bringing him to a 2-1, same as X-Lord. And I guess the answer is always Happy.
When did Vortix start playing? Like, or when did he return? Like, was it just like 4 or 5 weeks ago?
2 cups. like 2 months ago, I think, like pretty much with the start of Reforged, but he never really let loose. He was playing on W3 Arena and a little bit on NetEase as well, so while playing StarCraft and Heroes, he was always in touch with the scene at least.
I see.
But yeah, not there yet. The undeads are getting closer. They're taking maps off of Happy. But it's always just so close, and it's never...
I mean, come on. Like, if it is to happen this tournament, we want it to happen in the grand final.
So we're just preparing for the grand finale. Yeah, okay. Okay. I wouldn't be too opposed to complete the Spiral run. I mean, he's kicked out so many great players already. Now Happy is his next in the winner bracket final.
So, is there still games going on, or?
I don't know.
I guess it should be Cash versus the Muslim next. I don't think they started.
No, it should be next. And yeah, we have Happy versus Spiral in the winner bracket final. We have the Muslim versus Cash here. Hope Cash plays Orc, because that would be... I don't like off racing. And then Foggy versus Vortix. That's also a banger match. I'm really curious who wins it there. Vortix was struggling already versus Neutron. Maybe not his best matchup. And Foggy is a beast against every undead in the world except Happy. So we're getting there.